Hi, I'm Austin. I'm the songwriter, singer, guitar player, producer for the band Who Killed the Mascot, and today I'm going to be breaking down the songwriting and the arrangements of the parts for our latest single, Undermine. We have a music video out for the song right now. We should have a lyric video by the time this video drops. This video should be coming after that, I believe. But yeah, I just wanted to break down the lyrics, their meaning, you know, the notes the vocals are singing, kind of why I wrote it that way, the arrangements of all the different instruments, how the guitars work, bass, drums, the whole 9 yards. If you like the music and that's something you want to see more of, the songs and the breakdowns of the songs, definitely subscribe to the channel because we got more music coming and I plan to do these for every song. I'm also going to be recording a mix and mastering breakdown separately, and that's probably going to be posted over on my production company channel, Dead Dog Media, so I'll probably link that in the description as well because that's more technical versus this is more the art of the song with the band. So without further ado, let's get into it. All right, so first here, I'm gonna break down the vocals because that's what everyone came to see, right? These are the all the vocal tracks. I'll also go over the background vocals with you too, but let's just start with the main vocal.
Call my name and hold me under, free my pulse and make me wonder, find a God that I can pray to, break my legs so I can't leave you.
Pretty dynamic. It's very difficult to sing live. It goes up to, I think that's what, a G? Somewhere G sharp, A, somewhere around there. I'm not the best with music theory. I don't got perfect pitch, but it's somewhere, it's pretty high. And then the rest of the verse is pretty low.
My name
and hold me under,
free my
I went with the uhs instead of the ers because it just didn't sound right. I tried it, wonder, and it was just not good, and so these were just much more natural. It was a conscious decision to change it to the This one's a little strong, which I went back and forth on whether I should redo it or not, but it just fit. It's an aggressive song. It's an aggressive so it just made sense.
Call my name and hold me under.
So this whole song is kind of about being undermined, underappreciated. Personally, I wrote it about a situation kind of related to career, but I like to write my songs where you can kind of apply them to any situation. There's not like, this is what this song is about specifically and it has to be about this to you. Like, this is just a song about being undermined and underappreciated, and it can be applicable to any way that you take that. But yeah, call my name and hold me under. So it's like you're bringing me up to keep me down, like you're making sure you keep tabs on me to make sure I don't progress.
Hold me under, free my pulse and make me wonder.
Free my pulse and make me wonder. That's kind of a like stab my back, like out of nowhere kind of meaning. Free my pulse, a fancy way of saying kill me, and make me wonder why'd you called my name, like you called me up to do something and now you're killing me. Why?
Find a God that I can pray to, break my legs so I can't leave you.
Find a God that I can pray to, break my legs so I can't leave you. Kind of self-appointing them as the ruler or the God of your life. You know, I'm the one you listen to. I will dictate everything that goes on in this situation, and I'm gonna make sure you can't get out of it. You know, that's just kind of what that's about. Yeah, so that's the main vocal and the lyric breakdown. I think I have some background vocals on this. Let's see if they even were on.
My name.
Yeah, so this song, I do have a lot more background vocals than it sounds like in this song, and that's because when I started mixing it, I didn't want to cut them because they did add subconsciously to the vocals. It's there for sure, but to the point where they were like a main focal point of the sound, it just didn't work well.
My name and
So kind of just holding out on that high note, and then I got the
My name and hold me under, free my pulse and make me wonder, find a God that I can pray to.
So that's just hitting that octave down there, and that just adds, like, there's notes that I hit that might be a little more dissonant from the main vocal to the harmonies because the harmonies don't move, and it kind of just adds to the tension and the aggression of that vocal part. So I liked them where they were, and then this goes really down the main vocal here.
I can't leave you.
There's a real more like I'm whispering kind of in that part, real aggressive, and so this kind of added texture and just reinforced the aggression of the part.
I can't leave you.
So, and they're hard panned left and right.
I can't leave you.
So it really gets the point across there. Like I said, I'll be doing a mix and master breakdown on the other channel afterward, but we can move on to the chorus.
Find another way, find a way to take the pain. Tell me how to stay, tell me how to face the change. Rip away everything I've known, undermine everything I've shown. Give it all away again. Waste another day, tell me all the days the same. Rip away everything I've known, undermine everything I've shown.
Not winning any Grammys with this melody. It's mostly hanging on one note. But then I get the little like peaks there. And those really what when I wrote the chorus, that was kind of the part where I was like, oh, this is good.
They tell me all the days the same, rip away everything I've known.
Yeah, I really like those parts. I think they make the chorus unique and get the aggression across. Now this is layered, so there's just two of them, but I'll go over the lyrics real quick.
Find another way, find a way to take the pain. Tell me how to stay, tell me how to face the change. Rip away.
Find another way, find a way to take the pain. Basically, find a way to deal with what you're going through. You know, trudge on, just deal with it.
Tell me how to stay, tell me how to face the change.
Looking for guidance with that. Tell me how to stay, tell me how to face everything that's changed with my expectations or the situation, and just better help you deal with it. Like this whole part right here is just kind of begging, like, please help me move forward in life and don't let this be like the end all be all.
Rip away everything I've known, undermine everything I've shown.
Rip away everything I've known. For me, that kind of related to being in the Navy, having to move. I didn't like go overseas or anything, but still tough moving at that age, for sure.
Known, undermine
everything I've shown. You know, if you excel at something and then there's clear expectations of what happens after you excel at a specific thing, and then you're told no, which is kind of what this song's about. Doing the requirements for something and then saying, even though you did everything you needed to do, I just don't want you to have this. Kind of what that's all about.
Find everything I've shown, give it all away again. Waste another day, tell me all the days the same.
Give it all away again. You know, just them asking constantly, just give me your 40 hours a week and do it again, and then nothing's going to change after that. No, like, time for hobbies, no time, you know, just give me everything you have and then continue to do it.
And waste another day, tell me all the days the same.
Same thing, waste another day, giving it away to somebody else, tell me all the days the same. It's gotta be the same every day.
Everything I've known, undermine everything I've shown.
And then just kind of hammering in that rip away everything I've known, undermine everything I've shown. Here are the harmonies for this part.
Find another way, find a way to take the pain. Tell me how to stay, tell me how to face the change. Rip away everything I've known, undermine everything I've shown. Give it all away again. Waste another day, tell me all the day.
Again, you don't really hear them in the grand scheme of the mix, but they're for sure there, and they do a good job reinforcing this and adding. So unlike the first part where the main vocal had all the movement and the background vocals stayed stagnant, the main vocal is mostly stagnant and these background vocals move much more. It just works. I don't know why. It just works. Just sounds good. That's just how the cookie crumbles. And then this long held out thing here. Now those have no background vocals, no tuning. That's just raw what I did. And it's, again, the meaning of this is just to get aggression across. That's the whole song, is a very aggressive, very angry song. It was a break part reiterating the riff, but also the lead guitars start doing, like, breaking off from the main riff, which we haven't had yet. And so this is kind of like the breaking point of the song. We have cohesion in the beginning with the lead guitars. They're kind of dancing around. Like, I'm going to get in the guitars more, but just kind of a quick breakdown. And then this part of the song is where everything kind of breaks through and becomes much more chaotic. Now, the second verse, while being different melodically, are the same words as the first verse. And this was intentional and not intentional. It's how I wrote the demo of the song. But at the same time, I did try many different verses, and just none of them were good. None of the lyrics, like the second verse, different lyrics, were as good as the first. You know, I believe in writing different verses. Like, I believe that you should do an attempt to write a different verse for the second verse. It shouldn't be the same verse every time. But as you'll find as we release songs, I do repeat verses occasionally, or parts of verses. This is the only time I really repeat the same thing a second time in a row, word for word, and that's all you get. But when there's a point of the song, when there's a feeling that the song needs to get across, an emotion, and it just hits it right on the head the first time, and then you go through this progression where you get cohesion in the instrumental and then a breakaway in the instrumental, and then you can do the same words to hit that same point home, but do it in a more aggressive and a more chaotic way. It just worked. It's what the song needed. Even though some people, you know, will not like that it's the same exact thing over again, it's just what was best for the song at the moment. So let's listen to it. Oh yeah, you're gonna get a lot of delay from this part. It's got a lot of delay on this thing. It just added to the chaos. I'll break it down in the mix breakdown, but just you're gonna hear me yelling for about 3 minutes every time I pause it on this part. But yeah, it's kind of the same note as the chorus. It doesn't have that little pop-up that the chorus does, but it's more aggression, and then I doubled the part, and I panned them to the left and the right. So it's not even just, you don't get a center part with this. There's no centered, unless this is centered. This is centered. The background vocals are centered, but you barely hear them. There's no centered main vocal here. They're very much panned more to the left and right than they're going to hit the center. You're going to get them in the ears with the guitars, which kind of indicates, you know, that blending in with the chaos, and you're getting two different parts that are going to clash with each other, create kind of a chorusing effect. So, and then there's a ton of delay on it. So it's an up of aggression, really hits the emotional spot and the feeling of the song real well. Let's listen to these background vocals for it real quick.
Call my name and hold me under, free my pulse and make me wonder. Find a God that I can pray to, break my legs so I can't leave you.
And there you go. And the chorus is going to be the same as it was before, except I added the finalizing end to it.
Undermine everything I've shown. Undermine everything I've shown.
Yeah, so that's the vocals, really. It's probably one of the easiest songs vocally in terms of lyrics. Now, in terms of singing, this first verse, man, getting that down live, that first note, just tough. Got to come out the bat with like, but like a call, and get it right, because it's an aggressive note. Like, I'm hitting that note, and it's got to be an aggressive push. So that this song's hard to, and it's our opener because it's such a good opener, which is why we dropped it first. It's hard to get off the bat, but I think it's a great song. I think the video's great. So that's the vocals. Let's move on to my favorite part, the guitar. So we have 3 guitars in the song, and we have 3 guitars in almost every song. That's just the sound I'm going for, and I love it. I love when you have headphones on and you're listening to a song and you just find parts that you never heard before, listening to it through your phone or in the car, depending on your car speakers, that you might not be able to get that much fidelity through all the guitars because they're in around the same frequency range. When I listen to something like Sum 41 Chuck, and I listened to it through headphones and really paid attention, the amount of things that just happen in the ears with the guitars is just beautiful. And so that's kind of what I want with my songs a lot of the time, depending on the song, is you can re-listen to this and just discover new stuff, especially because of the guitars. But let's go with the rhythm real quick, just named Austin Guitar. So the song was recorded a half step down, so in D sharp. And this riff is the first 5 notes of the pentatonic minor blues scale, in that G flat scale, in that G flat key, G flat minor. And so my bread and butter with soloing and lead guitar is kind of the pentatonic minor, the dummy boxes. But this, I was just messing around one day, and this is where the song came from. This riff is where I was like, this is cool, I can write a song off of this. And so it's literally just, I can pull it up here. This is going to be in standard, so it's going to be half step up when I play it, but it's okay. Which the pentatonic minor scale is, or blues scale. And so you see how it's just that those first 2 strings of the first box or the first face of that. So, but I think it's really cool. I'm gonna keep this in my lap because I'm gonna use it more for this. And then at the end of the riff, I just hit the strings. That was kind of just a thing I did when I was done with the riff, and it sounded good, and so that became part of the main riff of the song. And then I'm hitting the power chords on it during that part. So my strumming is down, down, up, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, up, down, down. It's I don't know, that's just naturally how I did it. There was no thought process behind the strumming. Down, down, up, down, down, up, down, down. Just felt right. Now during this intro part, the leads are playing the same riff on a harmony. It's the 5th or the 3rd, whichever one's in the power chord. Now the second lead part takes a break here between the verse and the riff because it's got to switch to a little melodic triad lead part. So that in one of the demos, one of the recent demo versions, was much higher. I lowered it down a bit. I just thought it left much more room for the vocal. Now, and it had a different rhythm altogether, but while that's going on, we have Dustin's guitar doing the fifth or the third, one of them. So the rhythm is playing the roots. And so you got the triad going with that, and then you've got the harmony going with that all at the same time. You get this. So that's just one of the things where, like, you're getting a center guitar doing the root, you got a guitar in one ear doing a harmony to it, and the guitar in the other ear doing a little triad. And I think it's just beautiful. It all goes together. We don't have any keys or nothing in this part, and so I think it works great. I mean, I just hear a lot of people complaining about 3 guitars, and I'm always defensive about it. But and then we get the chorus here. So here's the chorus rhythm. So it's higher. I might have done it different if I redid it. I might have done it down here. But, I mean, what are you gonna do? It's, how it is sorry, guitar's not perfectly in tune. But yeah, I mean, it fits. It kind of leaves room for the other guitars a bit, but let's see what they play. Because, okay, I remember writing this part actually. So the lead guitars are doing the same part as each other in different orders. So one of them does an upward climb while the other one does a downward climb, and then they switch that the next time over. So I think that's cool. I really like that part. And the choruses don't repeat. Actually, none of these parts repeat. So every lead guitar part is completely different, which is part of the reason this was so hard to mix. It's because everything's constantly changing with the lead guitars. But no, I really like this, how in each ear you get the lead guitars doing something completely different, but the same in just a different order. Like one's climbing up, one's climbing down, then the other climbs up and the other climbs down. And we get this little end here into the break. And for the guitars, this was to signify, oh yeah, we've kind of been on the same page this whole time, doing things that are cohesive and together. From this point on, the song's much more chaotic. And you listen to that and you're like, oh, they sound like they're doing the same thing. the rhythm's playing the riff of the song. Also, the song's not in 120 BPM. I believe it's 180 or 185, but Pro Tools updated, so I had to re-import everything into a new session. Yeah. And so we got that doing the riff, and then the lead guitars are like, I'm going to do my own thing now. I'm not actually going to follow the root or the rhythm guitar anymore. I'm doing what I want to do. And then we get into the solo, which this is the only solo on the album. I believe it's the only solo on the album I did. You might be able to count other stuff as solos, but I don't really count them as solos. This is the only dedicated guitar solo that I did on the album. And I recorded it in standard, which is why it says poly, because I had to drop it. And so the way I record solos is I sit there and I improvise. I loop the part and I just improvise the entire time. And that's it. 190 BPM. It's 190. It says it right there on the recording. I originally recorded the song in Reaper. So, yeah, jot that down. In the production of this album, I moved from Reaper and learned Pro Tools. And then by the time everything got recorded and was ready to mix, I was already very proficient in Pro Tools, so just kept it with that. But anyway, yeah, I just improvise. This is the pentatonic minor, but it's on E. I don't know what's going on here. I just work here. It's on the E, technically E flat, because it's recorded a half step down, so I'll play it in E flat real quick. Now all the pinch harmonics, since I am improvising on this recording, were all accidents. I am not a guitarist that can do pinch harmonics on purpose. And so I play the solo how I was trying to play it when I play it live, but it's much better how I messed it up. This messed up version of solo where I made mistakes sounds better, so I kept it. So don't ever think that everything's got to be perfect. I mean, this is just all these pinch harmonics and all these open notes in the middle of the solo and stuff. They were all just accidents, but they sound way better than what I can actually do as a guitarist. So yeah. And then the lead guitars are just plain dedicated rhythm guitars while I am soloing. One's playing the root, one's playing the fifth. So that's pretty self-explanatory. And then we get Dustin's solo. So from here on out, minus one note. There's one note I played after this, just to clean something up. But Dustin plays everything else in Dustin's part after this. And wrote everything else, obviously. Killer solo, beyond anything I'm ever going to be able to do. This is the only thing from here on out that I recorded. He hit this first note, but this second note was he accidentally hit an open string. And so when we wrapped for the day, we hadn't cleaned that up yet, so I just went back and just hit this little on my Epiphone Les Paul Special 2, because he recorded with a solid body with humbuckers. It might have been his Epiphone Les Paul, which is much better than mine. But yeah, punch that in, and the solo was good. And then he did the rest of these parts here, and the rhythm goes back to the root. This guitar plays the same thing the whole solo section. Simple stuff. So we get into the second verse here. So instead of just holding out the root like we did in the first verse, just playing it outright. Then the leads are doing wildly different things. This is kind of a palm muted tremolo part. Just doing some walk up and then a little melody thing that just fit. It just fit. I was just messing around with stuff in the vibe of stuff we had done on demos, and it just fit, so I did it. And then Dustin's part is kind of a drag on from his solo, so it's kind of still in the vein of that. And that carries over, Dustin's part carries over into the chorus, which, again, rhythm part's just playing the root, just strumming it more, or probably the same amount as the last chorus. Dustin's continuing with his kind of where he's at after the chorus. And as you can see, not everything's perfect. I mean, especially for my parts, this whole tremolo section's off time. But it doesn't sound like that in the song. It sounds good because it's a chaotic song. There are songs where everything's going to be buttoned up and perfect. This isn't one of the ones that needs to be that. This song, the dissonant, the random open chords or open strings, they just work. They work in the song. It sounds good. It's a very chaotic, very aggressive, very angry song. And so that kind of stuff just fits with the vibe of the song. You need to know when to really nitpick and when to say, it sounds good. If it's a mistake, but it sounds good, you don't have to be some kind of mastermind that's like, oh, everything in this song was a conscious decision that I made because I had the full vision. No. Plenty of mistakes, plenty of missed notes in this song, and it sounds good. So let's go over the second lead part here. I think this is my favorite guitar part that I've done in this song. It's the riff of the song, around the riff of the song. It ends a little different, but during the chorus with the lead guitar. And so you get kind of a resolution to the beginning of the song where you get that riff starting the song, get that riff where the song breaks apart. And now you're getting it in the chorus, kind of signifying like a conclusion or validation. It just makes you feel good when you hear this riff in the last chorus. And the melody's great. It's got a bit of the riff, and then it does a little bit of a walk down, signifying conclusion. And let's listen to all those together in this chorus real quick. Again, all together, it sounds like it was intentional. Every little bit. Like there are mistakes. There's open strings in both parts, but it sounds phenomenal. And then we get the outro, which is again the riff on the rhythm guitar. You don't really need to hear that again, but then you get this this part on the second lead. It's not even really a tremolo. It's not fast enough to call it a tremolo. You got a note playing, what are they, 16th, 8th, 16th notes, and then it comes up, and then it bends up to the conclusion. So it just sounded good. I was messing around with stuff based on what we had done previously, but wanted to bring something new to it, and so that's what I came up with in the moment. And then Dustin's part is absolutely killer here. If the song's theme is like being trapped, wanting to break away, the song starts unraveling as the song goes on. This is the perfect conclusion. It's very chaotic and fast, but also has melody and intention behind it. You get the riff, you get some speedy stuff, and then you start getting chaos. So we got to this part right here, and we were like, where do we go from here? And I was like, let's go back down. I mean, let's conclude this thing. Let's hit a bit of a tremolo part here, and then let's just conclude it. Go back down. So we did. This is what all those guitars sound like during the outro. Great. Now again, I'm not doing the mix breakdown right now. I would have mixed this whole song differently if I was as good when I initially mixed it as I am now after mixing a couple other songs. But you do what you do. We can go over the bass next. So we got drums and bass left. The bass doesn't just hit the root. We got the riff, which he follows pretty good. And then we got some pretty interesting stuff throughout the rest of it. Let's just listen. So instead of hitting those muted strings, you get a slide down there. The where he hits it, I think, is a little different with the rhythm. And let's just continue. Verse 1. That little doo-doo, just adding a little pizzazz to the end of it. I think that goes up the octave, and then it hits that same note down that it did on the way up on the last one. Yeah, maybe on a different string. And then we got the chorus, which is where it really starts to break apart from the root. So kind of the band dynamic. I love letting them arrange their own parts around what I've written. because I kind of hold down the root with the guitar, with the rhythm guitar. So usually you'll have the bass holding down the root, and then a guitar to two guitars doing lead around that, or doing harmonies or something around there, and then you get the drum kit and the vocals complementing that. The bass doesn't really hold down the root for us in a lot of songs, which adds a cool dynamic to where the root is being played, and then you feel that movement of the bass more than you hear it. I just think it's a cool dynamic. I just think it's cool. So that's not at all a root, if you'll notice. So let's hear it again. So in isolation, this chorus part almost sounds like cheerful and happy and energetic. And that's where some of the energy of that chorus comes from, because you're getting my vocals, which just kind of hang on one note for the most part. You get the rhythm guitar holding down the root. You get the lead guitars doing kind of a walk down, walk up type thing. And then the bass is providing most of the movement here and bringing a lot of the energy in that part. So it just works fantastic. And then we get back into the riff, which is pretty much the same thing. And then we get into the solos. That's really where it breaks apart from the root right there. So that little thing adds a little bit of you really subconsciously is where all this movement with the bass hits you, because you're listening to the vocals, you're listening to the guitar solo, you're listening to the guitars, and then you get this rhythm here that you can feel and hear, and it adds a subconscious level of energy and just pizzazz to it. Yeah, it's so good. Next part, this is still solo. And then we get the verse 2, where he's just down picking it. And so you get that sense of like inevitability and doom almost. That walk down right there, bum 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 bum, just again inevitability and doom in that part. And then you get the slide up there still. Bum 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 bum. And then instead of the walk down at the end of it, you kind of get a walk down starts, and then it walks back up into the chorus. Ba, 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 ba. And so it kind of brings that energy back up. Even though it's a very energetic part there, the bass line's very doom and gloom and down pick, which is kind of in contrast to how it was earlier, because the guitars kind of came apart here. So the bass went down to holding down really that foundation that the song needs. And then we just get the chorus again. And so let's see if he did anything different. I don't remember if he did anything different on the outro. No, it's all just the same thing. But yeah, that's the bass part. I think it's perfect for the song. You get a very energetic chorus with the bass. You get that second verse is just like a masterclass in bass writing, really. You get it's just inevitability and doom in the entire sound of it, and then the walk back up into the chorus after the walk down in the middle of the verse. It's just great. So yeah, that's the bass, and then we got drums. So let's just take a listen to the drums. So we have these tom hits here in the beginning, kind of as a like, more is coming, don't worry. Subconsciously is kind of what that does to you. We're gearing up. I love that he does that with the guitars when they're hitting their muted strings. He plays along with it. And the whole rhythm of the dance between the bass and the kick matches the rhythm of the riff, if you listen. Yeah, so good, so good. And then he doesn't really like gear back for this verse. A lot of the guitars take a step back. The vocals are dynamic. They have that high, but it's more of a chiller verse. But he keeps the energy up with that hi-hat in this verse. Still very high energy. You're still getting fast-paced hits, but it still doesn't overwhelm the verse. And you can hear him kind of open up that hi-hat a little bit here. He opens up the hi-hat a bit, and then he hits the toms. Into the chorus. It's so good. I'm not even looking at the drums right now. Open hi-hat for the chorus. Kind of similar to what he did for the riff, kind of keeping it consistent. Nice fill. And then he kind of half times it in the second part here compared to what he was doing. And then we're into the riff here now. I just love that he plays along with the kind of break there, that it's an actual fundamental part of the song there. And then he switches it up in the second half too. It's just great. Now, if I was a drummer, I'd be able to tell you more, but I can play some drums, nothing like Brady can. And so I can't break this down quite as much as a drummer would be able to. Maybe we can do that, but yeah, I can just tell you how it fits along with the song. And so far, you get the change in the chorus, and halfway through the chorus where he changes the groove to be a bit slower, kind of signifying changes coming and leaving more room for the rest of the instruments in that. And then same thing in the riff here, because if you remember in the second half of the riff part here in the break, the guitars get more intense. They come up a note and they start bending. And so does the vocal. The vocal goes up a note too and starts screaming better. And so it kind of leaves a little more room for that intensification. And then I really wanted a ride part for this solo section, and he just did it so well. I just thought it worked. It reminds me of kind of older rock and roll, where you get a guitar solo with a ride. I mean, that's as simple as I can make it. You get a ride groove, and the guitar solos are going over. It just adds some a level of release and room for the solo to really take shape. It kind of releases a little tension with the ride because it's not as aggressive, but you're still getting a cymbal hit. It's a bell hit, so it's got that iconic ride bell hit sound. It just reminds me of old school rock and roll, which is why we did it like that. Obviously it goes on for a bit. And then we got the second verse incoming. Where it kind of goes to a very similar thing as the chorus there. That second chorus, or that first chorus. then we get into the second chorus here, where he does more complex fills in this chorus, kind of to signify, you know, this is the song, this is the climax, this is what it is. That little kind of almost gunshots into the final section of the song, and then he just goes straight to a crash groove, just constantly hitting that crash. And it's just, it paired with the guitars and the energy of the outro, it just works so perfect. Again, with the following, like the following the riff exactly with the kick and the snare is so great. And I like how he gets the tom hits in here at the outro, because it almost like mirrors the beginning of the song, where he's just hitting the toms to signify the beginning of the song, and you hit the toms 2 times to signify the end. And that's the drums. Like I said, if I was more of a drummer than I am, I'd be able to break that down a little more in depth. If you want to see that, let me know in the comments, and I might be able to make that happen. But that's the writing. I mean, that's the writing and the arrangements, the writing of the lyrics and the roots, and then the arrangements of all the other parts around it. Like I said, if you want to see more, hit the subscribe button. I'll probably do this for every song. Over on my company channel, Dead Dog Media, I'll probably be doing a mix and master breakdown for this song in this session. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. See you soon.